Hi, I'm Wayward, and this is Scrap Mod. Scrap Mod is a total conversion mod for StarCraft 2. It's played within the StarCraft 2 arcade, and it's built using StarCraft 2 assets, but it's effectively its own game. Scrap has two factions, the Fabricators over here, played by me, and the Dendrites over here, played by JLBoon. Wayward, I'm going to refer to myself in the third person during this, is yellow Fabricators, and JLB is purple Dendrites. Pretty standard opener for JLB, going for that initial building, going for the second one. A quick upgrade to Receptor, and a fast expansion. Normally you would want this first Receptor to, first assembler to become another Receptor, but he's going for an expand instead. That's a perfectly valid strategy. Wayward, on the other hand, has initially built a construction hub into a second foreman. Foremen basically are mobile refineries, and they also train the combat harvester, the scrapper, which is these guys. So Wayward's doing a split to keep units on a little better split up and harvesting on unique resource piles. We have some initial observation modules going down. These observation modules can be upgraded a little later into a variety of different defensive turrets, but they also have an enormous vision radius to provide early warnings for attacks. Now we have Wayward going over here to do an expand to this northern base location. Pretty standard opening. Wayward is choosing not to get any tech, and instead is producing a large number of scrappers for an early economic boom. Over on our Dendrite side, it looks like we're getting our sixth Receptor. Again, usually you want about 8 Receptors. They function kind of like harvesters and refineries together. It's a harvester basically that returns to itself. You don't need a ton of them to have your economy going strong. And see over here we have one group of 4, and then we have another. Where is that other group? Another group of 6 scrappers. Wayward has gotten his first building, the engineering module. This is combat upgrades for the Fabricator and a variety of targeted upgrades for the Fabricator. This makes the Fabricator attack a lot faster, this makes it move faster and regenerate energy, and this greatly increases its health and armor. Gone into a quick memory module, which would allow the Fabricator to get N-tier tech. He hasn't made that research yet. Still increasing his scrapper numbers, and we have 2 sensors out and about for scouting. Looks like JLB is going to take his third base and is pushing a small force over to either scout or do some harass. No, it looks like he's protecting this base. So we have more defenses going down for Wayward on the north. This is always good. Scrappers don't trade very well against the concussor. Really good to have some turrets there to help protect scrappers in the case that they get attacked by concussors. A little bit of downtime here. Wayward notices that and goes down to the south resource pile. We'll have to see if he queues up another turret. It's like where do those concussors go? There they go. Up the middle. Okay, looks like JLB's gone for that easy mobile battery. There's 4 of them on the map, one down here, one in the bottom left and the bottom right, and then one in the middle. The one in the middle is usually the one that's taken. Okay, Wayward has gone into Absorbers. Absorbers are a tank unit. While they have energy, they do increase damage and damage over time. They steal energy from enemy units. They're pretty good. Wayward is casting an ability called Overdrive. It makes the unit take a lot less damage, move and attack faster, and regenerate energy by itself. Okay, we've got a second Absorber down and a turret coming up. This is the laser array. It deals AoE damage at a very long range, but only against ground targets. I think Wayward's going to hold this pretty easily. Pulling the scrappers off the line to help defend. JLB has a Glial. It's stunning this Absorber. Let's see if it does that again. Yep. Let's see, pushing that Absorber forward accidentally triggers the Glial's heal. Loses the one absorber. The second one, though, is still holding strong. Those scrappers are cleaning up the last of the concussors, and Wayward has held this pretty nicely. In the meantime, we have an expand down to the south. Let's take a look at our tech. Survival module. Nothing too fancy. Oh, looks like Wayward is attacking that third base, while JLB is trying to put up his tier 3. This is the Quantum Core. Quantum tech is really powerful. Oh, Wayward is pulling off to attack those. Nope. Let's see. Wayward can't decide what he wants to do. Looks like we're going to go for that Axon. Turret going up. Let's take a look at what else JLB is doing. This structure unlocks the Synapse support unit. This is a defensive structure. See these observers here are actually defensive drones in this game. And up here we have the Integrity Core. The Axon has gone down. These last needlers are being cleaned up. Pretty good position for Wayward to be in. It looks like our Dendrite player is kind of low on units. Let's see what he does to turn that around. This is a really good unit to get if you don't have a lot of units, a lot of defensive potential, and can steal units from them. Up north, not much going on. Wayward is mining the middle. This is a really great place. Oh no. That assembler is way out of position. If Wayward was paying any attention at all, this would go really bad for JLB. Assemblers are pretty valuable, and you don't want to lose them like that. They're completely ignoring it, both players. The middle is a really great place for resources. You've got a lot of buildings. You've got a lot of resources up here. Looks like 2 absorbers is actually a lot. These things are like colossuses. They are pretty dang powerful. What Wayward should do is attack this building with them. Not only will it... Oh, no, notice the assembler. Okay, so we've got mining going on down south. We've got, it looks like, a turret going up for each player right here. I'm not sure. This is the defender turret. This is an actual attack turret. It also summons units. Not a bad turret. It's actually really powerful, but this is probably not what JLB wants to be doing right now. It says we've got some Tempests, but it is actually a stealth unit called the Vesper. I can't select them directly, it looks like. It's interesting. They are invisible, and they do AoE damage and silence enemies. Here you go. You can see them right there. Okay, big engage going down. The Vespers are silencing everything. The Fabricator, looks, all of his abilities are shut off. Right here we have the Assembler's N-tier ability going down. It's an AoE. It's everything in that circle for relatively light damage, but this is not a great engagement for Wayward. He's pulling back. No, he's not. Let's see. Yeah, this is bad, unless he gets his sensors. Yeah, really good engage for JLB. Didn't really lose anything. Managed to push Wayward completely back. Get that assembler out of there. Get it back. Let's go sacrifice it. Got those. Vespers are nasty. Okay, let's see. He's building another Glial. You can see that JLB's managed to pretty much recover from that earlier fight by now. And the players are pretty even. Looks like JLB's a little behind in terms of population. You might think he's ahead, but actually Dendrites have a higher population cap than Fabricators. Looks like we're cleaning up this defender turret. That Synapse better get out of there. Yeah, you don't want to. Actually, this is a bad place for all these units to be. Okay, we've got these absorbers going in. Wayward has mixed in a single excavator so far. Wayward is not going tier 3. You can do that in this game. It's a little easier for Fabricators to not go tier 3 than for Dendrites. Yeah, finally pulling that critically damaged Synapse back. When units are critically damaged, you can see the model becomes darker and it gets those lightning shocks around them. Sometimes abilities will turn off, and it also takes less damage and moves faster. Sacrificing this Glial kind of needlessly. Turret going down. These synapses are proving very, not synapses. Vespers are proving very, very difficult to do anything with Wayward. You see this got a critically damaged foreman and that excavator. Wayward really needs to pull out a couple of more sensors and keep them with his army. Oh, looks like this Axon is going to go down almost immediately. Looks like we got one absorber stolen by the enemy over here, and poor JLB is down to one base, locked up on his starting plateau with enemies to the south. Got a couple of concussors, but that's not going to do much. Looks like he's holding for now. Let's see. Wayward's holding pretty strong in the north. JLB's trying to come back in the south. Take a pause real quick and just do a quick overview of where everyone is. Wayward has 1, 2, 3, 4 bases and a clear lead in the data. Pop caps are equal, which means that Wayward is definitely ahead in terms of unit count. We are on 6 receptors. Let's take a look at our income. So Wayward has 12 harvesters. Receptors are worth about 1.5 to 2 scrappers, so income should be even, but I think several of them aren't mining. We can go to player 2. So this one's just starting. These 2 are going. Synapse down there is being healed up. Where are those other? Got 3 up here doing nothing. That's not what you want. But they are hidden. Wayward is right. Let's back to everyone. So they could sneak down around this way, but they are still quite a ways away from any resources. This is a really bad position for the Dendrite player to be in. Obviously. This is a massive force here for Wayward. Okay, let's unpause and see what happens. Slowly clearing up these turrets. Man, these synapses are low on health. So this is the Warden turret. It heals allies and gives them a force field. This is the Dampener turret. Slows down enemies and actually makes them do less damage. We've already seen the Defender turret. Those are the 3 turrets the Synapse can place. Oh, walking right into that. Oh, and we've researched the Reanimation Protocol upgrade. If a unit dies with Reanimation Protocol, it will gain an attack speed boost and a damage boost, but will ultimately die again relatively soon. JLB is getting really low on the data. Wayward has taken a 5th base. It's 5 to 1. That's a really fast countdown time for JLB. Finally got those 3 receptors going back in to harvest again. But I think JLB is not going to be able to pull this off. This is not a really efficient way to kill. Nope. Yeah, so we saw that assembler very briefly reanimate. This percent. That Vesper ran out of energy, I think, and became, yep, out of energy. Has to return to base to, nope. Yeah, go send those back to base to get healed up. This is a nasty, nasty force. Fabricators can pull out a mean death ball. And to add insult to injury, we have an inverter out for Wayward. This is basically a super unit. It's got an enormous pop cap, but its railgun basically insta-kills. I don't think we're even going to get a chance to use it, though. Even if they take this base, which it looks unlikely, JLB runs out of resources and the match is over. Not resources, data. So that was more of a victory by attrition. It was actually pretty close there for quite a while, but over time the Dendrite kind of squandered their units, which is a bad position. They want to be able to force the Fabricator to replenish their units on a regular basis. It's time-consuming and costly for Fabricators to replenish their forces. And if you let them build up a death ball like this, it's really hard to stop the Fabricator player. especially with all of this HP here. 650 health from the demolition rig, 675 plus the energy, since it uses energy as additional health, like a Protoss force field. So absorbers are a really massive block of health, kind of like a mountain giant. It doesn't actually taunt the enemy like the mountain giant does, but if you don't attack it, it continues to be more of a nuisance. Once its shield is gone, it's a lot less useful. Its energy is gone. It doesn't really do any damage anymore. So I think that was a pretty good match. Would have liked to see a little bit more back and forth overall, but that was a well-played match by Wayward and JLB.